What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin and do a little forecasting over the next couple months to the next year of what could be happening to Bitcoin based on the previous cycles. That sounds good, you guys. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at Jordan Cameron and go join the Discord. Links are in the description below. Let's jump on into the weekly chart for Bitcoin. If we're looking at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is, to me, following the same sort of cycles that it did in its previous two cycles in 2013 and 2017. Okay, if we look back in the past, and this is the thing I want to talk about today, is Bitcoin usually uses its midway cycle little sort of peaks as its bear market bottoms. If we take a look at 2017, you guys can see this example, right? So in 2017, we had our midway cycle peak right here, okay, our midway cycle peak. And then we had our bear market bottom in 2018. Look where we met, right? So our midway cycle, our biggest dip in 2017 was our bear market bottom, okay? And it's not just 2017 that did this. If we go back and look at, say, 2013, right, where we closed on 2013, you guys know I'm more so worried about where we closed on this price action. We closed in 2013 down here, right there. And look at where our bear market bottoms were in 2015, right? We actually came back down to it once, and we actually came back down to it twice and bounced off that midway cycle high, okay? So what does this tell us for our current market? Well, it's only 2 data points, so we have to always worry about that. But if we're just sticking to the data and looking at what could possibly happen over the course of the next year or so for Bitcoin, let's take a look, right? Let's take a look. So I'm of the assumption that this is a midway cycle dip. I do not think this was the cycle peak. I do think that we're going to extend this bull market into next year. For example, if we say that hypothetically $60,000 was the midway cycle peak, right? Somewhere around $60,000. That's where we closed our weekly candles up there. If we're hypothetically, if we were to repeat what happened in the last 2 cycles of using that midway cycle peak as our next bear market support, where would that put us, right? Where would that put us? Let's actually take a look at our growth regression curves for that, right? This could give us a good example of this. So let's say, for example, right, just like we said, our midway cycle peak is going to be at $60,000, right? So let's take a trend line here and put it at $60,000, right? $60,000. And if that was to be the bear market bottom, what could the current price action for Bitcoin look like? Well, let's take a look. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Let's zoom a little bit. What could the next price action be for Bitcoin? All right, let's move this down. Well, if we were to continue the same path of Bitcoin and top out at the top of the growth regression curve, which we've done the last 3 cycles, right? Well, we probably would expect Bitcoin to slowly probably make its way up into 2022, right? We probably wouldn't top out this year. It's certainly possible, right? It's certainly possible that we could top out this year. But let's say we come into 2022 and we peak out, somewhere in April or May of 2022, for example, right? And we top out somewhere around 100 and let's just say 190,000, right? Obviously, this is hypothetical. We don't know exactly where we're going to top out. I'm not about making price predictions in this channel. I'm just looking at basic price structure. If we top out at somewhere around 190,000, right? And then we will come back down into a bear market. Now, typically on the log curves, we do bottom out in the bear market at the bottom of the log curves. You can see down here. You can see right here, and you can see right here in 2020, right? We tend to bottom out on the bottom of the log curves. Well, typically, it takes us about a year in the bear market. Well, let's say we're under the assumption that because the bull market took longer, maybe the bear market takes longer, right? So we would expect that in approximately about June 2023, we would bottom out in that case. Let's say it takes an extra 6 months, right? Let's say takes an extra 6 months and we were to come back down, something like this, like we usually do in bear markets, right? We slowly start to come back down and we bottom out somewhere around $60,000 in, say, January of 2024, something along those lines. I think this price structure for Bitcoin would make a lot of sense in the grand scheme of things and sort of play out exactly like we've done in the past, right? Really using our previous midway cycle resistance, okay, and using it as support in the next bear market, okay? This would make a lot of sense. And also kind of fitting the time frame and also with the logarithmic regression curve, something along the lines of this. So like I've said, I do think that we're going to extend this bull market into 2022. And I think the bear market maybe will last a little bit longer based on what we've seen in history for Bitcoin. Now, if we go look at, say, for example, we compare the last couple midway cycles, which a lot of people are doing, and I agree with what they're saying. It makes a lot of sense. Let's take a look at the top of the last couple sort of midway cycle dips and sort of use that to our advantage. So let's take the 2013 midway cycle dip, right, and put the top of it right at our current price action, right? For example, in 2013, look how much this lines up to our current price action, right? And let's also take our 2017 dip, midway cycle dip, and do the same. Now this one doesn't fit our narrative, right? It doesn't fit our narrative as much as the 2013 one does, but let's take the cycle top right there. You can see where both of them generally line up, right? Both of them generally line up relatively in the same place. Now, if we zoom in a little bit, you can see how the 2013 one is so similar to our current price action. Just our current price action is obviously elongated out a little bit. It took us a little bit longer than the 2013 one, right? So if we look here, you can see we had our dip, right? We had our bigger dip, and then we came back up and we sort of had that second smaller dip. You can see right here, look at how much the price action is respecting that 2013 midway cycle dip. And then in 2017, we did the same thing, right? We had a dip here, and then literally in the same exact time frame, albeit in 2017 we moved up a little bit faster there. You could see we also had a second dip in 2017 as well. So there's a lot of different confluences with these midway cycle dips for Bitcoin, and I do believe that we're going to see something similar here over the next year or so, bearing in mind that we don't have some black swan event like a stock market crash or something like that. That could obviously change the whole complexion of Bitcoin going forward, but that's not something we can predict. So basically just going based off what we have in the past and sort of going from there. All right, so that's the video today, guys. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you smack up that like button. I really appreciate it. Go follow me on Twitter and go follow me in the Discord. Links are down in the description for all of those. Appreciate you guys a lot. I'll see you guys in the live stream later today. And also, if you guys are interested in my second channel, which I'll be uploading more altcoin videos on my second channel, links down in the description for that too. Make sure you guys go follow that. Catch you guys later.